Welcome to Classic Game Room, where today I'm going to hook up the NES Classic Edition, which includes 30 built-in games like Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong Jr., Mario Brothers, Pac-Man, Super C, but no Truxton. How good can it be? Well, let's find out by hooking up the NES Classic Edition. This is like a magical unboxing here in my workshop. This is the Nintendo Switch box, which was impaled in a previous video. If we look on the inside, it's the NES Classic Edition, which does not come with most Nintendo Switches, I don't think. Retro Blast from the past. We've seen a lot of these retro collections over the years. Most of them have been pretty cheap, like those Sega Genesis units with a bunch of built-in games, or the Atari joysticks with built-in games. How's the NES Classic Edition compare? I'll do a full review soon, but for the moment, let's just hook this up and see what's involved. When I first heard about this thing, I wasn't terribly excited because I already have most of these games, and I like to play them on original hardware, or at least super hardware like the Analog NT Mini Famicom disk system here. But this is the little NES Classic Edition, which is tiny. Oh, that's just adorable. Look at this. Does it open? How's this thing not open? How are you supposed to put Nintendo games in there? Come on! At least for effect, it should open, so you can shove your finger in there and do like the clampy thing. It's so little. It's like half the size of the NES Advantage. Look at this. They did get the color right, that's for sure. Wow, that's exactly the same color. I don't actually have my NES here. And my real NES is broken anyway, but hopefully this one is not. Derek, did you even play games on this? This guy was sent to the show by my friend Derek in Sulphur, Louisiana. Derek, thank you very much for the NES Classic Edition and a bag full of Pepsi Nintendo-themed bottle caps, which I'll show you in another video. So, Derek, thank you very much once again. Comes with a power supply here. Leave that there. And if we look on the inside, got an HDMI cable, can never have too many of those. And a little wired NES controller. Alright, there you go. Looks exactly like a real NES controller, except the plug is different. ColecoVision controller, Analog NT Mini, NES Advantage, Famicom disk system, and the NES Classic Edition. Perched on top of the Framemeister. You can see I've got this guy plugged in here. HDMI cable, power supply. Turn on the TV, wave to myself, hello, and get ready to go. I'm glad to see that they at least kept the little power button. I always kind of liked the design of the NES power button. And it's on. It does light up, but does it work? It does! Woo! What games do we have here? Star Tropics, Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3. Where's Thunder Force 4? Zelda, Final Fantasy, Double Dragon 2, Galaga, awesome, Pac-Man, ooh, Ghosts and Goblins, Mega Man 2, Ninja Gaiden, that's how I always said it, and that's how I'm going to continue saying it, Castlevania 1 and 2, Gradius, Super C, Balloon Fight, DK Jr., one of my favorites. Where's the old school Mario Brothers? Oh, there we go. Old school Mario Brothers. Kirby's Adventure, that's a great game. One of my all-time Nintendo favorites. Metroid. A good selection of games here. Alright. This definitely saves you some bucks because I think just this game alone probably costs as much as the NES Classic Edition. If you go for Zelda in good condition. Where to start? Ooh, Ice Climber. Let's do that one. Woo! Stupid bird! Right. Ice Climber is great. And I love that Balloon Fight and, oops, Mario Brothers are in here. And some of the less talked about Nintendo games. I mean, obviously you'd expect Zelda and Metroid, Super Mario Brothers, but some of the classic ones. I just love these games. Although I'm a little bit disappointed, in fact I'm a lot disappointed, that there's no Blaster Master or Bionic Commando. Or Gun Knack. Maybe next time. I mean, really, come on. How could you release the NES Classic Edition without Blaster Master? That's just a crime. At first glance, this thing seems to work well enough. Does it play Wrath of the Black Manta? No, it does not. It also refuses to play Little Samson. Stupid. To add insult to injury, it does not work with the Famicom Disk System or my NES Advantage either. Clearly Nintendo needs to redesign this thing. As always, thank you for watching. Classic Game Room is on Patreon. Classic Game Room Barware is at ClassicGameRoom.com. And my books, Surf Panda, Jesus the Coked Up Chicken #2, and Retro Megatrex are on Amazon.com. Welcome to the Patreon Lord Carnage Club, being shouted from a turbo volcano. Michael and Ariana Nelson, Ian Shore, Stephen Chucknick, Al Stever, Rick DeBarros, Jason Goy, Andy Schleiss, Sergio Matthias Hergert, Philip Strabenmuller, Jack Stavris, Ohad Kane, Simon Allen, and Sean Zoltek.